Good evening. Welcome to the University of Washington's 30th Annual Faculty Lecture. I'm Mark Emmert, the President of the University of Washington. Tonight's speaker is Dr. Carolyn Webster-Stratton, Professor of Family and Child Nursing in the School of Nursing and founding director of the university's Parenting Clinic. Her title is Helping Young Aggressive Children Beat the Odds, Parents, Teachers, Schools, and Dinosaurs. Dr. Webster-Stratton is a leading voice in the field of child behavior and parenting. She has spent the past 25 years researching ways to help prevent and treat aggressive behavior in young children, as well as developing and researching programs to promote children's social and emotional competence. This evening, you will learn about the seminal scholarship she undertakes and the care and compassion she brings to children and their families. Her work as both a licensed clinical psychologist and a nurse practitioner allow her to consider the family as a whole as well as the child in the treatment programs she creates. In delivering this address tonight, Dr. Webster-Stratton joins a distinguished group of the University of Washington faculty. Selection for this lecture is perhaps the highest honor our faculty members can bestow upon one of their own. The annual faculty lecture began in 1976 to help expose the work of the university's finest faculty to wider audiences. Each year, a faculty committee reviews nominations sent from across the campus, looking for peers whose work has made a significant impact on the profession, their field of research, and most importantly, on the lives of our students. Dr. Webster-Stratton earned her PhD in education from the University of Washington, enhancing her ability to teach others the skills necessary to raise children effectively and deal with behavioral issues. Since joining the university faculty in 1976, she has held adjunct appointments in the Department of Psychology and School of Social Work. During the past 25 years, she and the UW Parenting Clinic staff have addressed and treated hundreds of children who have been diagnosed with conduct problems, and they have offered prevention programs to over 3,000 children in Seattle area schools. Dr. Webster-Stratton has developed evidence-based prevention and treatment programs that have been translated into a number of languages and used by teachers and mental health specialists in nearly 20 countries. She has written numerous articles and books for therapists, teachers, parents, and children, and she's developed a series of videotapes. Her work focuses on the process of raising a child and closely examines the reasons for juvenile behavior problems. Others have noticed her enthusiasm and her talent. In 1997, Dr. Webster-Stratton received the Layla Rowland Prevention Award from the National Mental Health Association for her work with family interventions. She's also received the prestigious Research Scientist Award from the National Institute of Mental Health. An evaluation by a commission on the American Psychological Association, in fact, has found her program to be one of only 2 shown to reduce aggression in young children. Carolyn Webster-Stratton is recognized as one of the most effective advocates for promoting children's social, emotional, and academic abilities. We are very proud tonight to have her here with us. Please help me welcome our colleague, Carolyn Webster-Stratton. Carolyn? All yours.
Thank you very much for that nice introduction. It's indeed an honor to be introduced by President Emmert and to have this chance to speak with you about the clinical work and research that we've been doing at the Parenting Clinic. It's particularly fun for me to see some of my friends in the audience who probably wonder what it is I do, carrying around puppets in my car, various places in the city. First of all, I would like to thank the School of Nursing and in particular the Department of Family and Child Nursing for this special privilege. The School of Nursing has been my home for the last 30 years, and has provided me with the support to pursue my passion, and that is to find ways to help high-risk children and to try to help them have a good outcome in their later life. I am deeply grateful for that opportunity. This evening I would like to tell you about some of the studies that I began in 1979 and share with you the story of what we have learned about promoting social competence and preventing and treating aggression in young children. In other words, how can we improve the odds for a successful outcome for high-risk children? Let's look first at the prevalence of behavior problems in children. Unfortunately, prevalence studies suggest that aggressive and disruptive behavior in young children is increasing in intensity. The number of very young juveniles being arrested for serious violent crimes has risen substantially. In Europe, there has also been a substantial increase in violent crimes in juveniles. Studies have shown that the most serious offenders in adolescence actually started early with aggressive behavior, as early as 3 years of age. So what do they look like as preschoolers? One study found that preschoolers engaged in an average of 32 aggressive acts in a 10-minute interval of time. Data from the National Center of Education Statistics in a survey of kindergarten teachers found that 46% of the kindergarten teachers reported that half of their students lacked the self-regulatory skills or the social skills to function productively in kindergarten. In other words, they were very difficult to teach. This graph shows patterns of aggression from birth through 30 years of age. Each line represents a subset of the population. As you can see, not everybody exhibits the same amount of aggression when they're young. Clearly, there are individual biological differences. Some children have very little aggression and some have a high degree of aggression. In all cases, you can see on here a rather remarkable increase around the age of 2 years, and somewhere around the age of 4 years, this aggressive behavior starts to decrease. You'll see the bottom two groups of children, there's a rather little amount of aggression, and then it kind of stabilizes into a small amount. But the group that we are most concerned about is the black line at the top, where the aggressive behavior, which is high during a young age, never really comes back down again without some intervention. In order to remind those of you who's been a while since you've had a preschooler what aggressive preschooler looks like, I would like to show you this videotape of a couple of children in a preschool setting in the Seattle area. And let's watch them.
All right. Okay. You know, I have a challenge for you guys. I'm wondering if somebody here can show me, when you come in from outside, how you go straight to your seat. Can somebody show me, Jimmy? Can you show me? Would you pretend over the door? Pretend you're coming in.
Oh. You can't have two of this game. That's not how you play it.
Andrew, can you show me?
You can't have two. There's no. You can't.
Can you show me?
You can't how you play it.
Just a
But
minute,
you
Gabe.
can have the gym.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can-
But this isn't the system.
You know what? Can you take a deep breath,
You
Andrew? and tell
can't
me what
have
you're doing?
one. Because I don't have one. Other people have gifts to her.
Gage, can you tell me what the problem is? What's the problem? Why is Andrew sad?
You can't play with this. That's not how you play it. You have to give it to the other people.
I'm gonna put this away for just a second. You know what? I'm gonna put it away, and we're gonna pick it up in a few minutes. Okay.
Well, perhaps that seems a little amusing to some of us, but believe me, for parents and for teachers, this is a stressful moment. And in fact, in preschool, we know that 1 out of 4 social interactions is actually aggressive. So you can imagine what that's like if you're working with children all day long and you've got anywhere from 18 to 30 of them in your classroom. So the earliest years set the stage for a lifetime of emotional skills, competencies, and problems. Researchers have found across a range of studies that emotional, social, and behavioral competence in early childhood predicts children's academic achievement even after you take into account family resources and cognitive abilities. Children with emotional and behavioral difficulties are at high risk for underachievement in school, for school dropout, delinquency, violence, and substance abuse. The research base about the early risk factors for aggressive behavior problems is solid and compelling. There are three categories of risk factors that I would like to discuss: child biological, family, and school risk factors. And there's not any one marker of disadvantage, but rather it seems that it's the more biological, family, or school risk factors that a child is exposed to that is the greater the disadvantage or the chance of a poor outcome for the child. The biological risk factors, as we talked about earlier, some children come with a genetic predisposition to more aggressive behavior. Many of these children may also have problems such as language delays or learning disabilities, or they may have a problem with impulsivity and attention deficit disorder. In terms of the family and environmental risk factors, these would include children who have families where there is considerable marital discord going on, perhaps a parent who is involved with drugs or substance abuse, history of criminal behavior, children who have experienced abuse or perhaps been removed from their home into foster care, children who experience negative and harsh parenting, or a low connection between the family and the school, and high levels of stressors in the family. School risk factors. These can include large classrooms, many children, a large number of aggressive children in the classrooms, teachers who are not prepared to handle misbehavior in the classroom, children who experience rejection or bullying at school, and schools where there's very little emphasis on social and emotional curriculum. Let's look at the typical trajectory for a child. First of all, we get our child. Some of us are lucky we get a child with just a little bit of aggression. Some of us get one who's more aggressive. If we respond to that aggression that occurs in the normal 2- and 3-year-old in responsive and sensitive ways, it is likely that the aggression will decrease. And if the child is developing normally and developing language skills, they will begin to learn words to express their emotions and to regulate their responses. And they will learn social skills. As teachers and parents work together to encourage children's emotional expression and support positive peer interactions with appropriate discipline, we see the child, as he grows older, continues to see that aggression go down, self-control going up, and more independent problem solving. These children make good friends, have success in school. In other words, what is happening here is that the parents and teachers are working together to socialize these children out of their aggression. Not only are they training them not to be aggressive, but they're training them in other more productive ways of solving conflicts, social skills, anger management, and problem solving. Now let's watch what happens if that trajectory is disrupted. What about those children that don't show a declining trend? We once again get our child. Perhaps this time the child comes with a difficult temperament, is one of those, the upper black line is more a fairly aggressive child to begin with, maybe some developmental delays or language delays. If this is responded to with harsh discipline, or the child is in unstable child care, or in a situation of socioeconomic disadvantage and experiencing the stress of poverty, the aggression increases rather than decreases. The child becomes dysregulated emotionally, doesn't learn social skills because we can't get the child to comply, has difficulty making friends. Again, if it's responded to in ways where parents and teachers are not working together, but in fact may become somewhat adversarial around this, where there's an unsupportive school environment and a failure to teach social skills, the child, as grows older, becomes more aggressive and oppositional, and then begins to experience academic failure. The child is rejected by other students and may find, has a few friends, but those friends that he does find may be other kids who are like that child, who are also aggressive. Again, we see the disruption between the home and school. The peer relationships are not monitored, and the other kids that they are playing with are actually reinforcing their negative behavior. As this escalates in adolescence, it turns into children who become more violent, delinquency, school dropout, and eventual unemployment. So what is the summary here? Young children need developmentally appropriate and nurturing responses from parents and teachers that will help them to prevent serious problems, to repair problematic relationships, and to teach them social and emotional skills to succeed in life. Children with aggression, as we've said, start prior to the age of adolescence, but they're often neglected when they're young because at this point they're not legally delinquent, so they're not quite in your face yet. Only recently has there been awareness that the precursors of antisocial behavior begin at a very young age, and there are some who think that aggressive behavior actually crystallizes at age 8. So, the earlier the intervention, the greater the chance that you're going to prevent later academic and social problems because you're preventing these cascading, accumulating risk factors. There's no question that treating children between the ages of 3 and 8 is a lot easier than treating them when they're adolescents because you then have to deal with the peer group as well and the school reputation. So those of you that are parents of young children are asking yourself, when do you need to seek help? When should I worry? Clearly all young children, as we've seen in the graph, whine, yell, scream, hit, bite, and do these things, and that's pretty normal. But these children do it at a much higher frequency and intensity than other children. So this would be the child that 9 out of or 8 out of 10 times is going to refuse to do what the parent asks him to do. Therefore, the parents can't socialize that child because he's so non-compliant or oppositional. The teacher or daycare provider may report that the child has a problem with aggression, is having difficulty making friends. This might be a tip that there's something going wrong. Parents may feel they're not successful at socializing their child and helping the child to reduce their aggression. Or this may be a child with more developmental problems, making it more difficult to teach the child social skills. 7 to 10% of children are diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder or conduct disorder. Unfortunately, less than 10% of these children with conduct problems ever receive a treatment, and an even smaller percentage of that 10% ever receive a treatment that has any evidence base for its use. I'd like to tell you now about the programs that we've developed over the past 25 years with the goal of reducing these risk factors and increasing the children's protective factors. Our hypothesis in this is in the long run we'll be able to reduce delinquency, substance abuse, and violence. Here we show the building blocks for our program beginning on the bottom level here. We have 3 kinds of parenting programs. The first one, the basic parenting program, we are working with the parents to learn nurturing and developmentally appropriate approaches for their children, to be consistent with their discipline and non-punitive, and to learn ways to help their kids self-regulate and to learn social skills. And finally, to promote strong connections with teachers who are also working with their children. The advanced program is focusing on communication skills, anger management, and problem solving. And the school program is focused on working with teachers, setting up behavior plans that are consistent from the home to the school, doing homework with your child, helping them if they have reading problems, know how they can tutor them, just how to encourage the child that is discouraged, The basic parenting program, the parents come for 12 to 14 weeks for 2 hours once a week. The parents are in a group. There are 12 to 14 parents in a group. And they watch videos, and we'll discuss the videos in order to think about ways that they can handle particular problems. There's a trained group leader who leads this discussion. And in the first vignette that I'm going to show you is an example of a vignette that the parents would see. We would look at it and then think about how we might handle the same situation. Here we see a father who's asking his daughter to put away the toys. And let's watch what happens.
Okay, you know what though, Liv? I'm gonna have to put these puppets away pretty soon, okay? Is that okay? Why don't you put them away? Okay? Why don't you I'm putting these toys away now. Yeah, I'm putting them away. It's almost time to go. Yeah, it's almost time to go, so we have to put the toys away. So let's start putting the toys away. I want you to put them away for me. No. We're gonna put the toys away. Okay. Come on, let's start putting the toys away. Let's start with this one that you liked. Let's put the lady away first. Okay, let's put the crocodile away first. Put the mousey away. How about this lady? How about this one? How about this one? How about this one?
So you can imagine if you were the parent of this child, what would you do next? In the next scene, we're going to see the same father with his daughter. Let's watch what he does this time and see what happens.
Liberty, look at me, right here. Look right here. You sit down, please. Okay. Thank you, Liv. That's a good girl. Now you sit down, please. That's a good girl. Very nice. Okay. Now we have 3 puppets left. What are we going to do with them?
Put them away. Then we get to.
You want to go pick those up?
Yeah.
Let's go pick those up. That's a good girl. Let's bring them over to the box,
You
okay?
come to that.
Okay. So this time you see the father got eye contact with his daughter, and just as soon as she began to respond to his message, he praised her as she began to sit down. And the next vignette that I'm going to show you is an example of an actual parent group. It was a parent group that was done in one of the schools in Seattle, and this is a prevention program. None of the parents of these children had particular behavior problems, but they were attending the group in order to feel more confident about their parenting skills. And in this particular session, it's partway through the program. The prior week, we had talked about ignoring temper tantrums. And when they come in, I'm asking them how it is for them to ignore, what experiences they've had with ignoring. And a mother starts out the session by telling us about trying to ignore her child when she tantrumed because she didn't give her ice cream. And let's look what she experiences here.
Tell us about ignoring.
Oh yeah, he wants ice cream. He came to the school. Mommy, I'm hungry. I want ice cream. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. A few more minutes. We are eating. No, I want ice cream, please, Mama. I want ice cream. Crying like crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. I was continue cooking. He go to the room and he alone the ¿cómo se dice? Se calmó. He calmed himself down.
Right. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Maria, how did you get yourself to stay calm when he was continuing to sort of demand that he get some ice cream? What did you do to keep yourself calm
¿Qué es lo que hizo
and,
usted
and ignore?
para mantenerse calmada, para poder ignorar al niño? That was hard because, I want to calm him. Mm-hmm. So I remembered, no, forget it.
Eso se le hizo difícil porque ella quería calmar al niño, pero se seguía recordando, no, lo tengo que dejar.
Sí, y ¿qué otra cosa me preguntó? No, eso, that's all.
Yeah. And while he was getting kind of upset, but it sounds as though you kept yourself pretty calm because you continued to ignore. Yeah. What did you tell yourself while that was going on?
¿Qué se decía así mismo?
You're not sure.
Sí, no, solo recordaba las clases y ya decía yo no.
She would just remember the class, what she
Okay.
heard in the class.
So you might have said the class told me that I'm supposed to continue to ignore.
En la clase me dijeron que yo debo de ignorar y cosas
Sí,
así.
sí.
Ajá.
The class told me that this
Sí.
tantruming would stop eventually.
Sí,
La clase me dijo que él se va a calmar eventualmente.
sí.
Yeah. Excellent. And then he learned how to calm himself.
Y aprendió cómo calmarse a sí mismo.
Sí.
el niño.
Se fue a su cuarto y solito se calmó y ya regresó y me dijo, mami, ¿te doy un beso? Ok.
He went to his room and he calmed himself down. Then he came back later and said, Mommy, can I give you a kiss?
Fantastic. Oh, that is really great. Yeah.
Very good.
So part of the trick with learning to ignore is not only helping the child to learn to self-regulate, but for the parent to stay self-regulated, to stay calm when these tantrumings are, we often say it so the parent doesn't have a tantrum at the same time that the child's having a tantrum. In this group, a little bit later, one of the parents brings up the idea of it's difficult to have a telephone call, conversation with her child, and her child keeps interrupting the call, and whether or not she can ignore this behavior while she's on the phone. And so we do a practice. A lot of what we do in parent groups is somebody pretends to be their child, and then we practice different responses with the child. And here, the mother who has the problem, she decides she's going to play the role of her daughter who interrupts her on the phone, and her best friend is playing the role of being on the phone, and she's talking to me. So let's watch what happens.
Yeah, so I've been having my hands full today too.
Yeah, some days are just really rough. Can hardly even talk on the phone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I really understand that.
I know.
Who are you talking to?
It's just really... Yeah, my child's trying to talk to me on the phone too.
Sí, mi niña
Yeah.
también
Are
me
you
está
trying to do that
tratando de
ignore thing that they
¿Está
told us to
tratando de
do?
ignorar?
Yeah, it's really... No, Nico, I want it. It's mine,
Yeah.
mine, 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 mine,
I
mine,
know. So they said they get worse before they get better.
Can't
So
have it. I'm not gonna let you.
yeah.
Mommy, she won't let me have it.
Well, it sounds like you're really doing a good ignore over there.
Well, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's difficult because
Mommy, is it my turn to talk on the telephone yet?
You know,
Oh, well,
we're
we're probably not going to talk. Yeah. Okay. We're taking some deep breaths right now. We're going to ignore.
Respirando profundamente.
Yeah. Oh, is she quiet now? Maybe she needs some praise.
Here's another sticker. Thank you for quieting down.
Wow, you are an impressive parent.
Eres una madre muy impresionante.
I try.
I think probably ignoring is one of the hardest things one has to learn to do. Now, in terms of the evaluation of the program, who should receive the program? We have researched the program with diagnosed children with conduct problems, ADHD, and oppositional defiant disorder. And we have also offered the program in the community to populations that we think are more at risk for having difficulties. In particular, we've worked with Head Start and with schools that have a high percentage of free lunch, and with new immigrant families. It would be my dream to be able to offer parenting programs to every parent in the same way that we do prenatal class, and in a sense immunize every parent against the escalation of behavior problems. The research that we've done with this program, we've had 8 randomized control studies, and there have been 5 independent replications in various parts of the world. All of these studies have shown similar results in terms of reductions in conduct problems. In our follow-up, we find that 2/3 of the children are in the normal range at 3 years later when we evaluate them on standardized measures. In terms of the effectiveness of the program as a prevention program, we've done 3 randomized control studies in the Seattle area in Head Start in the schools, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2. There have been 5 independent replications with some different populations, including families who already have one child who's incarcerated and foster and biological parents at the same time. Results again have shown reductions in conduct problems and increases in children's social competence. In this particular study, it's showing preschool centers in Seattle were randomly assigned to intervention and the usual services. The green line there represents usual services, and as you can see from the beginning of the year in fall to the end of the year when school, just before school is ending, the children became more negative at home in their interactions with their parents. The black, or the blue and the red lines represent the intervention condition, and we see here in the red line the condition where the parents attended the parenting program, the children's negative behavior decreased. On the other hand, the black line, these were the parents in the intervention schools who did not attend the parenting program, and their children increased in aggression, similar to what you found in the usual preschool setting. The next slide with the same study shows the opposite. Here we see in the intervention condition from the beginning to the end of the year, the children of the parents who were in the group show a marked increase in prosocial behavior, while the children that were in either usual services or of the parents who didn't attend the group, there was no change in their prosocial behavior. Can we attribute the program effects to parenting change? Indeed, we can. Significantly greater benefits occurred amongst those children whose parents reduced their harsh parenting by 30% relative to those parents that did not achieve this change. Parents from all backgrounds could make this change, regardless of their socioeconomic background, their culture, or their educational background. Let's talk now about the teacher training program. Why do we want to include teacher training as part of our intervention strategy? Well, as you saw earlier, 1/3 of the children who had been treated in the parenting program continued to have problems with their peer relationships or in the classroom, despite their improvements at home. Parent training doesn't change things for kids at school or with their peer group, and in fact, many children spent more time with teachers or in schools than they do with their parents. A significant body of research highlights the important role that teachers can play in the development of children's social and emotional skills. The quality of childcare matters. Research that was done with one of our investigators here at the School of Nursing showed that low-income children in high-quality childcare fared significantly better cognitively and emotionally than children in poor-quality childcare. The program that we offer to the teachers is similar to what we do with parents. The teachers come together in groups. They watch videotapes of teachers in classes managing behavior and talk about strategies and share ideas about how to respond to them. We talk about proactive teaching strategies, discipline plans, behavior plans, how to build strong connections with families, with parents, and how to teach the children the skills they need to learn, social skills and problem solving. I'd like to do now is show you a couple samples of the videos that we show the teachers. These first two videos as an example showing the teachers, some teachers who are praising their students. And these would be used for the teachers to talk about the ways that they praise their students, what kinds of behaviors that they praise. Let's watch them.
Like the way you're doing it together. Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate those who are listening and sitting nice and tall. Just like a team, you're thinking and helping us. You're smart, all right. Here's your choices. Frederick, thank you. You're going to know exactly what your choices are. Denser, thank you. Daniel, thank you. Ida, Con, thank you.
Did you know that that was a technique called the stare? In the next scene, we're going to see another teacher in a preschool classroom, and she's ignoring a little boy who's having a tantrum. And in this case, he's tantruming because she's taken away the bubble maker. And the bubble maker was getting into other kids' eyes, so she had to remove it, and he was unhappy about that. Watch how the teacher responds to him.
That's right. You got to keep it in the table. It's all gone. It's all gone, Hannah. It's all gone. All gone. All gone. You can go back in the classroom. See, it's all gone. You can choose doctor, or you can do more bubbles, or you can choose something else. Okay. Wow, look what Rachel's doing. You're doing a good job, Rachel. Look what you're making. Wow, that stuff looks like fun. That stuff looks like fun. Hey, Bob, will you pick that up and take that away? Somewhere, just anywhere out of the visible. Yeah, just take it away. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. Oh, look. Hanuk, look. Oh, Hanuk. Good. You're blowing bubbles. Yep. Careful. Here, Hanuk. Blow. Whoa! You made lots of bubbles. Good job. Yep. Right. Do you want? I see that. I see. Whoa! Oh, Hanuk found. Yeah! Yay, Hanuk! You made some big bubbles. And Hanuk is quiet at the bubble table.
And here we see the child who had difficulty regulating himself. She tried to give him options, but he wasn't ready for it. She gave him some time to calm down. And just as soon as he's calm again, she gives her attention back to him and is actively engaged. You can imagine as a teacher, you can't miss a heartbeat. And you certainly can't schedule a coffee break. You're on all the time. In the next scene, the final one from the teacher series, is an example of another preschool classroom. And here the teacher is trying to help the children use words for their conflict. Watch all the other skills that she also teaches them at the same time.
Mommy, stop it.
Nice job using your words. Oh, Sergio, can you tell him can you tell him when he can play?
Later.
He says later. How long, Sergio?
5 minutes.
Oh, Armani, he said in 5 minutes.
You can't take these cards.
Okay. Armani, can you wait for 5 minutes? You want to play with this one? You know it right now. That's Sergio's. Oh, look at Armani's waiting. Yeah. Armani,
I was playing with that. You can't play with
Sergio, can you say please stop?
Please will you stop? Armani, please will you not take these cards, okay?
Oh, Armani, are you listening to your friend? Look at Valeria and Armani's listening to his friend. Armani, can I help you? You only have 14. Can I help you find a car, Armani? Let's go find another car.
Armani, look, Armani's here.
Are you giving him those cars? Wow, Sergio. Sergio, you are being such a friend today. Good work. Armani, can you say thank you?
Yeah, too.
We see this teacher reinforcing the child who's able to wait, the other child for using his words, for sharing, for listening, taking turns. There's a lot of skills that are being taught there. In fact, one of the hardest things really in terms of self-regulation is the ability to wait. In our studies that we have done on the teacher training program, we've done one randomized control study, and there are 2 replications. And these studies have shown, with the changes in the teacher's discipline approaches and classroom management skills, significant improvements in social competence and decreases in aggressive behavior in comparison to the control classrooms. We have done 1 randomized control trials of the prevention program, and this has been offered to Head Start teachers in the Seattle and Puget Sound area. And there have been 3 independent replications, and these studies have shown very similar findings the teacher training program resulting in decreases in classroom aggression, increases in children's pro-social behavior, as well as in their school readiness behaviors. Now I would like to tell you a little bit about Dinosaurs program. But first what I'd like to do is introduce you to the director of that program, who is Dinosaur. And for a minute, I'd like you to imagine that you're all a 5-year-old child, and while I introduce her to you. Shall you do that with me? 1, 2, 3, Dinah. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here. Oh, I've never talked to this many people before. Well, I'm Dinosaur, you know, and you know, I'm the president of Dinosaur School. Yeah. Well, Carolyn, she asked me to come and talk to you today about the rules for this workshop, but I think they know the rules. I think they do too, Dinah. I can see this man down here, he's got his hands in his lap. He's not touching anybody next to him. I've got the eyes on me. Wow. You know what happened to those dinosaurs when they didn't follow the rules? Yes, they became extinct. And I'm the last living dinosaur to tell you how you can survive. That's right. Well, Carolyn told me that I shouldn't talk too long because I might embarrass her. So I guess I have to go away for a while, but I hope I get to talk to you later afterwards because, you know, I know a lot of things about survival. Bye. As you can imagine, the children love these puppets, and they love to tell them about their life stories. The topics of the dinosaur curriculum include many of the things we've been talking about: communication skills, problem solving, anger management. But for these children, each of the units is the name of a dinosaur. So the anger management unit is called the Tyrannosaurus Rex unit. And the children earn buttons, dinosaurs, for all the different programs. The small group treatment program is where the children meet in groups of 4 to 6 children for 2 hours once a week for 20 weeks. The parents are in the parent group at the same time that the children are in the child group. In this next vignette, we're going to see an example of the small group where we're talking about feelings with the children. Let's watch what happens.
Here's the game. When I hold up a card, I want to see if you can look at the card, make the face, and check your face in the mirror to see if it works. And if you have a little piece of plastic, you can just pull it off.
How come mine doesn't have it?
Somebody probably already pulled it off for you. Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Thank you. Look at the feeling and make the face and look at yourself. Look, Simone looks just like that. She looks happy. Dorian looks happy.
Simone's happy.
Let's see, Jeremiah. You see your happy face? And Nahom's checking out his happy face.
Great
Good
face.
job.
I take it out.
That's okay.
All righty. Ready? I'm going to show you another face, and I want you to test and look in the mirrors. Thank you, Nahom. Oh, I can tell Simone is doing it, Jeremiah. Oh, Dorian's got a sad face. Adriana's face looks sad. Imani's face looks sad. Oh, these sad faces are making me feel really sad. Let me see. How about this face?
That's why.
Here's a new one. Who has tense? Oh, Nahom's face is all squished up. Oh, look at Simone. She's checking out the picture here. Adriana. Oh, Imani looks really tense. You know what? Oh,
Dorian looks very tense.
let me see. I want to change that to, here's a new one we haven't showed you before yet. Who knows what this is? Adriana, what is this one?
Tired.
Tired. Can you show me your tired face? And you know what? Let's end on happy. Can you show me your happy face?
Helping children learn feelings or emotional literacy is really important because until you have words to express your feelings, you really can't regulate your emotions. In the next vignette that I'm going to show you is from the problem-solving unit, and here Felicity Feelings comes to talk about her problem with her brother. And she and her brother argue over what TV program that they're going to watch. And so they ask the children for help in solving their problem. And typically this is what we'll do. The puppets will present a problem related to problems the children themselves might have. The children come up with solutions for them, and then they act them out and they practice these solutions. So let's watch what happens here.
Can I talk about my problem now? Because
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I really need to talk about my problem. And Wally told me that you could help me. Well, can I tell you something? Well, the thing is, I have this brother. His name is Freddie Feelings. I don't know if you've met my brother, Freddie, but Freddie's bigger than me. He's 7. And well, you know, yesterday I was watching my favorite TV show, and I was already watching it, and Freddie came in and he said, I want to watch a different show. And I said, no, you can't. I'm watching this one. I've already started it. And you know what Freddie did? He took away the remote control and he changed the channel. And I said, no, you can't change the channel. I'm already watching it. And it's my turn. And I grabbed it. Ooh, Felicity. You're getting kind of wound up here, Felicity. Well, yeah, because he took it away, and then I grabbed it back, and then he grabbed it from me, and then I was getting it, and then my mom started to yell at me, and she said we had to work this out, and I didn't know what to do, and I got really upset. Ooh, Felicity, you know what? I think these kids know something that might help you when you get kind of upset like that.
Look at all these quiet hands,
Felicity. Do you know what I can do?
You could have said.
Who has a quiet hand up? Do you have a quiet hand?
You could have said, could you please not change it? And then maybe he would have not.
You already have a solution for me. But you know what, Felicity? Sometimes it's hard to come up with a solution when you're feeling really upset. Does anybody know how Felicity was feeling when that was happening?
Felicity.
Let me see.
Quiet hands over here.
Tony, how? Do you know how Felicity was feeling, Tony? How was I feeling?
Sad.
Well, yeah, I was kind of sad.
And you turned mad.
And yes, I was kind of mad too. You're right. Dorian, did you have a question? Did you know how Felicity was feeling?
She put it in the drawer and he took it off.
Wow, you kids are already coming up with solutions.
Okay, in the research that we've done with this program, we have 2 randomized control evaluations and 1 replication, where we've seen significant improvements in the social skills and increases in the problem solving with the peer group. As you see in this slide, where we're looking at all 3, both the yellow, the red, and the green bars are intervention conditions. All 3 were significantly improved in terms of reduction of aggressive behavior at school over the control condition. But this condition, the green bar, which combined both the child and the teacher intervention, shows that 83% of the children showed at least a 30% reduction in aggression, so substantially more than the others. Then we've taken the program into the school. Having seen the impact of the small group treatment program on children who are diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, we wanted to be more proactive and try to take the program into schools and get children before they have a diagnosis. Try to help them in a non-stigmatizing setting, since many of the families wouldn't come to a mental health, and see what would happen. We developed a dinosaur curriculum that is offered in preschool, kindergarten, grade 1 and grade 2. It can be offered 2 to 3 times a week in 45 minutes. It's a circle time followed by a small group practice time. But this one that we're going to see now, just so you see what it looks like in a larger classroom where we may have 25, 26 children in a classroom. And here, one of the teachers, Oscar the ostrich, is arriving for these first graders. And he has a problem because he has stolen his best friend's baseball mitt. And the other children are trying to explain to him that he really needs to face up to his problem and apologize and tell his friend. So let's watch that happening here.
Thumbs up if you guys think you can help Oscar solve his problem. Whoa! Boy, that's a vote of confidence! He's got faith in you guys. Well, if Oscar made a mistake and did something wrong, does that mean we're not going to be his friends?
No.
Everybody everybody makes mistakes, don't they, sometime? Yeah. We need someone to act one of these out for Wally and for Oscar, because Oscar's a little afraid to go and try it. Let's have Wally feel a little bit mad, because he's like, hey man, you took my mitten. I had missed baseball practice. So then, but before we have Wally come up, what's Wally gonna have to do to calm down if he starts feeling mad? Can he use one of Tiny's secrets? What do you think? Hannah?
You could take 3 deep.
He could take 3 deep breaths. Look, that's a great idea. Maybe say to himself, I can calm down too, huh? Okay, so Molly, you want to choose a couple more people to be, another one for us to be Oscar?
Oscar, let's have Derek. And how about Hannah?
Okay, Derek is Oscar and Hannah is Wally. Okay, now remember, Wally, you're going to be feeling a little bit mad.
I'm really sorry that I took your glove.
She's going into her invisible shell. She's taking 3 deep breaths very silently. Okay.
I just saw her tell herself I can calm down.
Wow, that was smart. Okay. Now what's she going to say? She's getting calm. Okay, Wally, what are you going to say to Oscar? He looks real nervous waiting there.
Thanks for giving it back. I wish you didn't take it.
Okay, good work, boys and girls.
And in the final one, we teach the children how to give compliments, and this will be the last one we'll look at from this series. Let's watch this one.
I compliment myself because I'm a good reader, and I compliment Derek because he plays nicely with his friends. I compliment Connor because he's getting a lot better at learning how to read. And I compliment myself because I help in all of the ways that I can to help other kids accomplish things that they need to accomplish.
That's a nice compliment.
I think that's either our future therapist or a future teacher. There's a 6-year-old trying to help other kids accomplish their goals. In this study, we've been analyzing these results, and we have some very nice changes that we're seeing in terms of decreases in aggressive behavior in the classroom. We've had over 600 children in this study, and increases in school readiness. And so what we can say is that the children are ready to learn. Not only are they more socially competent and less aggressive, they're more cooperative with the teachers, they're more focused, they're more on task. At this point, I would like to, as we end the session, introduce you to Wally, problem solver. And Wally has been sitting here so long, waiting, and he thought it would never be over. That's right. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting so long because I had a problem that I really wanted to talk to you about. And I thought I never get a chance to do this. You know, there was this Super Bowl game a while ago. Well, you see, the thing is, I want to know why it is that the best team didn't win. Wally, you're not supposed to talk about that. That's not what you were asked to talk about. Well, it was just kind of on my mind, you know. Yeah, what I'm supposed to talk to you about is that, really, I don't really want to be aggressive, and I want to have friends, and I really want to do well in school, and well, I'm sure there's some solutions to this problem because, Carolyn, you tell me that there's a solution to every problem. That's right, Molly, there is. I think there is a solution. I think the first one might be to train parents, to offer parenting programs. And the more parents who can receive parenting programs, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Well, I think that's a pretty good idea because I'd sure feel better if I knew that my parents knew what they were doing with me. Sometimes I worry about them a little bit, But the thing is, I think that you always say, Carolyn, there's more than one solution to every problem. Well, that's right, Wally. I think there is another solution. And that solution might be to offer children social and emotional curriculum, particularly for high-risk children, but Perhaps all children could benefit from a program like that. Well, I like that idea a lot too, because you see, I really love dinosaur school and I want to have a lot of friends there. Okay, but are there any more solutions to that? Well, I think there is. There's another solution, and that would be to train teachers. All teachers should feel confident in terms of their classroom management skills. Oh, that's such an awesome idea, you know, because I really want teachers to enjoy teaching and have fun in the classroom. Yeah, you know, and as I look around this room at all these people, I'm sure that there's many, many more solutions that you could come up with. So I hope that you will help me figure that out. And afterwards, maybe you can talk to me about that Husky game too, all right? Yeah. Well, I guess I have to go now because Carolyn needs to wrap this thing up, you see. It's time for her to finish. So I'll talk to you later, okay? Thanks for listening to me. And I have my glass here if you want to check anything out. So in conclusion, the research, both our own research and others' research, paints a picture of hope and of warning. It tells us that young children are incredibly resilient, that aggressive behavior problems indeed may be transitory, given nurturing parents and teachers that are working together to train them out of their aggression and to replace them with more pro-social and productive skills. It also warns us, though, that if we don't take that opportunity to help these young at-risk children, that we may see in future years a greater increase in aggressive behavior and delinquency and substance abuse down the line. It seems to me that early intervention is a very worthwhile investment in our children, not only in our children for the immediate, but for our children in the future, for the peace, if you will, for the world, for helping them to be able to handle future conflicts. I thank you very much for your attention and your commitment to children. Thank you.